This amp is really not meant for what we're going to try today, but we're going to do it anyway. What can go wrong? I want to know if it's possible to record massive and professional sounding guitars using this absolutely not massive practice amp from Positive Grid, the Spark Go. To understand why this is probably a bad idea, I need to explain a little bit about what this amp does and what it's meant for. Positive Grid have been making digital modelling amplifiers for a little while now, and they're all powered by their own library of cloud-based tones. This 3.5 inch tall super portable amp is their newest and smallest addition to their lineup and promises room-filling sound and crisp tones thanks to something called computational audio. The robots truly are coming to get us. So it sounds fancy, but how much can you really expect from an amp that's smaller than the Blackstar Fly or the legendary and not at all sounding Marshall MS2? Well, here's how I plan to find out. I'm going to try and use this amp to track some professional sounding guitars for a riff idea that I've got. To save us some time, I've already made the drums and bass for the track, and they sound like this. All we really need to do now is just track some guitars using this little machine, add a bit of mixing and mastering magic, and hopefully we get a sound that doesn't make your ears want to like suck back inside your head. I mean, it's a simple enough idea, right? Or at least I hope so. I have no idea how this thing's gonna sound, but there's only one way to find out. And I forgot to mention, I bought this myself, blah blah blah, not sponsored. And to make this a little bit more interesting and give this amp a proper challenge, I'm going to track the same guitar parts using my favourite Neural DSP plugin, Archetype Gojira. Now the first thing that I'm going to have to figure out is how to get the sound out of that and into this. As far as I can tell, we've got 3 options. Option 1 seems like it's probably going to be the most simple. I've got this lead that's got a 1/4 inch jack to an headphone jack that we can run from the line out on the amp straight into my audio interface. I have absolutely no idea what the quality of this is going to be like, but it does mean that I don't have to make any changes to my current setup, which is super nice. Option 2, apparently this works as an audio interface for recording. I literally had no idea about that until I was researching for this video. Honestly though, that does seem like a little bit of an afterthought. I mean, it's a super portable practice amp. How good can it sound as an interface? It's not being sold as a legitimate means to record guitars, so like, surely only an idiot would try and record professional sounding guitars with it.
That's me, the idiot.
But dude, if it works, this thing just got even more useful than I thought it was. And then finally, Old Faithful, I'm just gonna mic it up. I did not, in fact, mic it up, and I'll tell you why soon. So that's the 3 options we've got to try and get a usable recording tone out of this little amp at a bare minimum. And you know what? I'm feeling pretty confident this is going to work. Overconfident, you might be thinking? Yeah, maybe. Next, we're gonna need a tone. This riff's gonna want something pretty heavy and modern sounding, so I can either take the time to go through the overwhelming amount of amps and effects and stuff that are available to me in the Positive Grid Spark app, or I can let somebody else do all the boring work for me and I can just find a usable tone on the Tone Cloud. That's Positive Grid's database of community uploaded patches. I downloaded one, and actually it was super easy and it sounds sick, dude. I'm right happy with that. All we need to do now is track these guitars, and I'm going to be using the Chapman MO1 standard because I'm still testing it for the demo. Dudes, it's me. I decided not to show this bit of footage because it was boring as shit and I didn't want to waste your time. Instead, if you enjoy what I'm doing here, hit the like button for me because it really does help the channel loads. I appreciate you. Now let's listen to what this amp can really do. So let's just rewind to something that I said right at the start of this video. This amp is really not meant for what we're going to try today, but we're going to do it anyway. What can go wrong? Well dude, I think it's made me out to be a liar. I don't know if you agree with me, let me know in the comments, but I am so impressed with how well this amp tracks. It sounds f***ing awesome, dude. And I did barely any work choosing a tone. I literally just searched Gojira in Tone Cloud, found one, tried it, liked it, and off I went. Now I'm just thinking about all the possibilities if you just spent some time tweaking your tone to make something that was a bit more recording focused. I am genuinely blown away. Personally, I think the USB out did sound a bit more crisp than the line out, which is probably what you'd expect, but it is still really close. Either of them could get you very usable results for recording. And because of how good they sounded, I didn't even bother miking it up because I just didn't think it'd do it justice. This tiny room is only a little bit bigger than the amp itself. It's echoey as shit, and it just wouldn't have been fair.
Join us next time on Tiny House Hunters when Roger and Kim Clombottom move into a spacious microwave.
Plus, miking one of these up really isn't what it's meant for, and I do mean it this time. In comparison to Neural DSP Gojira, they were different tones, but I did get better results with the plugin. Kinda goes without saying. This is a tiny portable practice amp, Bluetooth speaker, jam buddy, recording unit all rolled up into one, and it costs about the same as the plugin. I just think that's ridiculous value for money. Think about going on holiday somewhere and taking your guitar, which is absolutely something that I'd do, and having this to practice and track with. Or if you don't have any plugins or an audio interface but do want to record some of your own music, then you can just pick one of these up, bang it in the USB port and get straight to writing your own music. It's so sick. So yeah, I think you could get album worthy recordings using this thing. In fact, I might do it. I might take that demo track, make it into a full song and track it all using the Spark Go. What do you think? Also let me know if you want a more in-depth review on this as a practice amp, and I'll go a bit more in detail on the features if enough of you want it. In the meantime, why don't you check out this video about a Chapman that people need to stop sleeping on. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you massively. Take care, mate. Stay safe. I'll see you later. Bosh.